So it might be going. Done. Excellent. Okay, welcome everybody to the Computate AI live stream today, and we're going to be discussing AI telemetry, the application, and the latest developments that we're adding to do cluster workloads. Let's see, let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to hide some stuff. So this is what we're building now. It's the ability to request an OpenShift cluster to be built, and we're going to be able to show, we're going to be building these clusters to do AI workloads. And let me close Slack real quick. See, let's see. One sec. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick and exit, share. Share my desktop again. All right. So this application is developed. It's developed in this OpenShift AI workbench in the cloud. OpenShift AI is so powerful because it lets you do software development, website development, AI, ML development. And if you want your own OpenShift AI workbench, then just go to search for Red Hat OpenShift Developer Sandbox. And it's this link here. You can go to the Developer Sandbox. You can start your sandbox for free, which is amazing. And you create a Red Hat account, which is also free. And then that makes you, so then you can log in with your Red Hat account and then you can access your own OpenShift cluster project. So this is my OpenShift project here. And you can access OpenShift AI. OpenShift AI OpenShift AI gives data scientists and developers a powerful AI ML platform for building AI-enabled applications. So we launch, and then you get access to all this cool stuff, pipelines and projects. I haven't even looked at all these experiments and things, but data science projects, it gives you a data science project, and then inside of here, you can create workbenches. And my favorite workbench of all is this VS Code workbench. So you give it a name and then you select an image. But there's also, they all have Python. They're all for standard data science, but this one is for GPUs. PyTorch, TensorFlow, Trusty AI. This is VS Code. And then these other ones, like I don't even know what they are, but they enable different AI features. So this is how you would get started on your own, and it's free. So check it out. But I want to show you this application here. So I'm going to start it again. So I stop, and if I stop it, then this site goes down. But I can run this again. So what it's going to do is connect to Zookeeper Cluster Manager and connect to the database, PostgreSQL, connect to Keycloak for authentication and authorization, and then start the UI. So it tells me what the link is to connect to the site. And you'll see here, it has a home page that is accessible. And if you want to see the link, then you can go to it here. Chat. AI telemetry in development. No, okay, so then I need to figure out a good way to manage chats, but I'll just put it over here. Okay, so AI telemetry is cool because it can get us access to cluster metrics that require authorization to see, but you can see here, we can see what AI clusters have AI workloads and GPUs. So these are two clusters that have GPUs deployed on them, NurcoCP prod and NurcoCP test. And here are the different GPU devices or GPU nodes. So if you notice, this NurcoCP prod worker 107 is an actual physical computer in a data center, and it has one GPU device. But this one is NurcoCP prod worker 97. This is another node, but it has 4 GPUs. So this is a more powerful, more expensive GPU in that case. And there's a little bit of work going on with these GPUs here, and there's some information about it. And they're deployed here in Massachusetts. And we've had other clusters that used to contain GPUs, but now have 0 GPU devices. So that's shown here. So we're building support to create new OpenShift clusters with GPUs. And that's what the cluster templates and cluster requests models are for. If we go to cluster templates, let's see. Oh, okay. This is interesting. So these are cluster templates that come from an API called the Fulfillment API that another team is building. And when I start up the application, it imports these templates. If I go down here, imported, it does all of these imports. And we can also schedule these, but I have it set up to import when the application starts. So it imported these cluster templates, but there's duplicates because it looks like the person designing this cluster templates API changed its template titles from lowercase to uppercase. And if we want to see when these were created, we're going to do a little AI code generation here. We're going to go to cluster request. No. We're going to go to cluster template.java. And I'm going to extend a method called created. And it's actually, this is defined in the base model. So it's actually defined here. So what we want to do is add a comment here that is HTML column 3. And if I do this, then behind the scenes, see, how do I switch terminals? Terminal, I got my chat window here. I'm going to move it over here. All right, so there's some code generation going on. It's watching my code for changes in this script that I run. And if I refresh the page, then let's see, it kind of, let's see, it didn't quite work. Let me try HTML column. Let me change this to 1, and then this to 2, and this to 3. See if this works better. So we have created in a column 1, we have title in a column 2, description in a column 3. Let me see if this works. It's not quite doing what I expected. So maybe, okay, so I got a bug there. But what we can do is something else instead. I'll have to try to make that work later. I'm going to go to the API, and what we can do is filter on some fields. So we do FL equals created, comma, title. And this will limit what we see. So these okay, today is April 3rd. And so these uppercase ones were created on April 3rd. Let me zoom in. But these lowercase ones were created April 2nd, yesterday. So this is kind of cool. We can see that things have changed. And what I thought I built into this API is the ability to delete cluster templates that are old. So let me check my code here, because I have this function called cleanup old templates. Let me see if this works. If I stop and start this application again, what it's going to do is it's going to query all the old templates that were created before this import started. Or import data. So this method, when the import starts, it creates a zone date time now. And this is used later on when we clean up old templates. We pass it as a parameter here. So what I want to see is, are there any old templates? There are old cluster templates. It says there's 2, which is what I was expecting. And then for each of these, we do some asynchronous code to loop through each of these for each old cluster template. And we make a request to delete the object, the cluster template. So what I want to check here is if it makes it here. So I go to cluster template in US gen API service simple. search for delete API and come down to this future method. So I expect it to hit this breakpoint. So it does. So I'm just gonna step through this. Do we get here? Yes, we do. Do we have a cluster template? Yes, we do. It's PK6. So this, let's do PK. Oh, we have a blocking thread and that's blocking everything. So I can't make that request right now. But if O equals null, does this step? No, it doesn't step in there. Why is that? If list cluster template O equals 1, well, there's the bug in the code. Search, wait, list cluster template size equals 1. O does not equal null. And this, what does this evaluate to? 4. Oh, whoops. What's the filter on this? Let's see, search URL. Filters on class canonical names, cluster template, archived, sort. Oh, it didn't apply some kind of filter. So I need to look here. So it's actually doing a good thing. We need to add a query. So I'm going to expand this out. Query put. I'm going to look at another example like AI cluster enus API service simple, because we have a cleanup method in here too. Cleanup. FQ. No, we don't. I didn't put it in there either, so maybe it's not working, but I'm going to add dot put FQ, and it's going to be cluster template dot var title. String dot format percent %s colon percent %s and then we need to get the title in here. So we have the o dot get cluster. Wait, what do we have? We have old cluster template. Cluster get title. Okay, we're going to stop this. Start this again. Oh, it said deleted my something. See, can I search in here? Deleted. I swear it's deleted. Yeah. Was it info? Well, let's just check. Refresh. Cluster templates. Yeah, it deleted them. Cool. So that gives us the latest cluster templates, not the old ones. And then we can create a cluster request based on that. So this is to request an OpenShift cluster to be created based on a cluster template. These cluster templates have ridiculous names. Your template, my template, your template is ugly, my template is nice. Like, whatever. Okay, we're gonna create a cluster request and we click the create button and then we give it, well, yeah, we give it a name. So test one, and this needs a little work, but if I click here, oh man, I have a bug. Okay, so yeah, this is a bug I didn't have time to finish last night, but we're gonna create a cluster, and this is another bug I need to fix. I have these two bugs, but if I refresh the page, it created this cluster, and then if I click here, huh, I wonder why this is suddenly not working. Network. Okay, so response. It's got these two things. Am I getting a JavaScript error? Console, no. Hmm. I thought I had this all working, but I'm tweaking the code, so let me look at the latest changes that I made. Source control. Um, this one here. First count. Not that stuff. Um, Let me go to a previous cluster gen edit page from yesterday, maybe. I go to open timeline, file saved 11 hours ago. Uh, Suggest. So let me copy this to the clipboard and go to here. Whoops. Copy. Um, Refresh. Wow. Uh, well, I'm gonna have to fix this. Um, okay. Um, does anybody have any questions? I just want to check. Thor, did you have any questions about this UI so far? Okay, so I'm going to troubleshoot this thing. Form, because there should be. There should be a list. View page source. Data list. There should be a list. Yeah, this UL. Okay, that list exists and it should populate. But let me check the debugger. Go to, I might have broke something stupid with the GET requests. That's probably it. Let's see, so I'm gonna close this, close. Um, Cluster request. Search, suggest. That shouldn't be on separate lines. Okay, so if I click in here, then it goes into this function. Oh, it never returns from that. It never goes into there because it fails. So let me check out this function because I may have broke this specifically. Search cluster template bars, vals, fetch. It goes here and then fails. Oops. Okay, so I got a bug there. If response is okay, body, JSON, then JSON. Then, so I messed this part up. The fetch JSON body JS dot then doesn't explain it there. Dot then with then. Come on, AI. Fetch dot then. Oh, I guess I may be doing this wrong. Fetch dot then response and then returns response.json. So is this how it works? Response.json, promise pending. Oh, response.json.then. I think that's what I did wrong. So, okay, let's look at my changes here. This is what I screwed up. Here. Response.json dot then. Maybe response dot json dot then dot json dot then. Okay, so we're going to do some code generation here and generate this code. You generate this code. But okay, refresh. See if this works better. Response.json. No, that still didn't work. How does this work? It's response.json. Let me look at cluster. Let's see. AI cluster and edit page. .json. That's what we're doing here. Response.json.then. Body has already been consumed. Oh. Really? Then response. If response is okay. Here. Console. Wonder why. 123. So on this host AI cluster, I don't understand why this doesn't work. Oh, it's my expression. I gotta delete these. That's the problem. Watch out for the console. It can mess you up. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yes. Okay, good. Uh, yes, so I can finally assign a template. And let's see if this was successful. Let's see, let me delete your template. That resulted in another console error. Input is null. Oh boy. Okay, so input checked. Okay, let me go back to all clusters. See, this is in development. This is what I've been working on. It's perfecting this because it had some bugs. So if I create cluster test2, this lets me select my template, create a cluster. See it pause, but let's continue. And then network. It created a cluster. Let me refresh. Test2, it's assigned to my template. So that's good. Just need to finish fixing some bugs. Because I should be able to assign this, but we get this error. Console 150. So there's nothing called input. Wait a minute. Oh, so this input target undefined list, master page filters. So probably what we need to do is pass the target here. So continue, click, handle click, dispatch event. Continue. Target is undefined here, so we gotta pass the target. Yeah. Relate event.target value. This is my current spot. Gotta pass this. And then in here, we dollar input. We're patching. See, we're adding an event listener. This should be event dot target dot checked. That's what it should be. Input, select, search here. Input dot checked. Event dot target. Event dot target. And then we don't need this dollar. You don't have to override input. That doesn't make any sense. All right. Hopefully that fixes this bug. And I just got one more bug. Cluster template, cluster request. We save this file and then it'll regenerate some code for us in the UI. Yes. And then we continue, refresh. Your template. Yes. Okay. It changed. So then I refresh the page and it should be assigned to your template. Yes, it is. And then I can click in here and search for my template and reassign it here. And that looks a little weird. Maybe I could refresh the results, but if I do that, it switches to my template. So we may not, well, probably don't want to actually reassign these values, but I wanted to make sure it's working. The last bug was when I go to all cluster requests. When I click create, put test3 and select a template like my template, then post cluster request, this ends up failing. If I click create, so it should come to on success, but I think it comes to on error, or actually it just comes here. Comes to here. Oh, it's successful. And then what does it do after that? Console response dot then is not a function. Wait, where was that? Console click 178. Response dot then JSON. This right here. I'm gonna split this up on a couple lines. Wait, what? Post cluster requests. Mint.query selector. Do you have that?
I'm charging it up right now. Yeah.
See, response target. Wait a minute. No, I'm doing this wrong. Sorry.
If it dies on seconds. Why not? No, but I did unplug it.
Go to here.
Okay, so how much? How much? How much?
There.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oops. There. Okay. So that.
Okay. Sure.
There.
Okay.
And then response step, then split this up. Oops. Indent that.
Okay.
Then
Huh? Put it.
7.
Man.
And then 7, 6, 5. All right. That looks better. And then I need to do .json here, maybe, and regenerate this code. See if this works.
Well, it is charging. Yes.
Okay, refresh the page. 178. Oops. Log in. 178. That looks cleaner. All right, so then create, test, test 3, test 4,
Wait.
4. Whoops. Go back.
Wait.
Create, test 4, cluster template. This one, create a cluster.
Is there sugar?
Response.json is not a function. Oh,
Is there
that's probably the problem. Let's just,
So, wait, so how much is it? You said for something though.
I wonder, create cluster. Oops, create cluster. So, and event dot. Post cluster request event.
Okay. You have this all memorized? You have this all memorized?
Well, I'll have to figure this out later. Okay, sorry, that's all the time I have. Thank you for joining. We almost have a UI for requesting clusters and integrating that with the fulfillment API.
Cool.
It'll be pretty close today.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Have a good day, Thor and Lucy. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Chris.